And so the next morning, after that, I went to bed, woke up the next morning. I went and I spoke to one of the priests there at Holy Name. I told him, I had this experience. I think God's calling me to the priesthood. And so he was like, oh, that's good. Well, so I went the rest of the weekend and I told some of my friends there like what had happened that night. And so they started supporting me. I mean, it was cool, but I mean, it's like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so at the end of that retreat, I was talking to that same priest that I had talked to, that I had told that I was discerning, or that this idea of priesthood came up. And he invited me to these, it's called Discover the Road Less Traveled. It's these meetings that are hosted at St. Mary's.
Okay.
For guys like me that are thinking about priesthood.
Okay.
And so, I think it was going to happen like 2 weeks after this retreat. He's all like, you should go check it out, see what they have to offer you. And so I, went back to work and was waiting for that day. I think it was like a Thursday. Was waiting to go over there. I ended up driving over there to St. Mary's, and this is the first time I'm ever on that property, and it's like, immediately it hit me too, how beautiful the campus is. And it was crazy, because like I park, and I'm walking up the steps, and immediately I feel like a sense of like, I'm at home. Like I'm home. I'm here. And then that just kind of dawned on me, like, man, I could see myself being here one day. And then the first thing I do is I go into the chapel. Beautiful chapel. I don't know if you've ever been over there.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you got to check it out. It's beautiful. I mean, the whole campus is beautiful, but like the chapel itself is beautiful. We meet up for prayer, and then we go to the place where we're having our meeting. And then I see the vocation director, who happens to be Father TJ.
Okay.
Who was classmates with my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so if my brother would have continued, they would have been ordained together. And I hadn't seen him since my brother left seminary. But now here I am walking into a room, and he's right there. So immediately we recognized each other. It was just like, man, and I told myself, if this isn't a sign from God, I don't know what is, right?
Because you already had 2 signs.
Yeah.
From those 2 visions that you had.
Yeah.
And then this is the third one.
There's the third one.
Comes and hits you.
Yes. And so it was just like, all right. And yeah, we went through the meeting. I don't remember what we talked about that night, but it was a once a month meeting that we were doing with this Discover the Road. And so I was going faithfully every month. And yeah, so this was in October still. And this summer they had a discernment retreat at seminary hosted by Father TJ.
Okay.
And so I signed up to go. And at that point, I mean, I went back and I went through the weekend. And after that retreat, I was like, yeah.
You were all in already?
Yeah, I was like, all right, I know the Lord is calling me.
Okay.
But I had a meeting with Father TJ, and I was like, look, I had my first encounter with God, I guess, in October. I feel the confirmation, but it's barely December. It's only 2 months.
Yeah.
Right. I need more time. Like, this can't be something I just rush into. Right? He's like, yeah, that's good discernment. Go ahead and go do your thing, and just continue to come to these meetings and stay close to the Lord, stay close to the sacrament, stuff like that. All right, cool.
Okay.
So I was like, look, I'm going to apply, just not yet.
Yes.
So I went back to work, and at that point I was like, I should probably do my best to get the degree. So I started working and going to school so I can finish the degree.
How much time did you have left in your degree at that point?
About 1.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So
not much.
Not much, but I started kind of trying to cram to get, like, putting more hours on myself to get more, to get it processed quicker. Which was a bad decision because it was horrible. There were nights where I wasn't sleeping much. I mean, I was still working.
Yeah.
I was still working full time. And yeah, going to school full time. So I mean, and yeah, my grades were definitely not the best that year or that semester. Because after that semester, I was like, nah, I can't do this. Like, I need a.
And so, what did you do? You went into the seminary after that?
No, I did that year. It took me almost 2 years to get through it.
Really?
Because I slowed down on my degree plan.
Okay.
Instead of, because like I said, I try to cram as much as possible within 1 year.
Yeah.
And so I went the opposite route, and I was just like, I'm just
Stretched
gonna,
it out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take like maybe 2 classes a semester.
Okay.
That way I can pay it off since I was working.
Yes.
And so I don't overkill myself with
Yeah.
like lack of sleep and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But then even after that, I was just like, nah, I can't be here. I don't want this degree. I don't want to be at this school. No, nothing against the school, but it's just like, I know this is not where the Lord's calling me.
Okay.
And so at that point, I told Father TJ, look, I have this much left, I think. Can I just enter seminary?
Rather than forcing to finish
Yeah.
something that just wasn't meant for you.
Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I applied, and
You went through the whole process and
Yep.
you got accepted.
I got accepted.
And then once you entered the seminary, was it everything you expected it to be?
No, because
Really?
so that was the thing too, like part of my discernment, like during that year and stuff, I was still going to these monthly meetings. And, the St. Joseph's, where I ended up going to seminary, offers this this come and see is what they call it. It's this weekend where you just go visit, see
Yeah.
what it's like. Father TJ had invited me, so I was like, yeah, I'm down. And we went, and I had never been to any other seminary outside of Holy Trinity. So I go over there. It's in Louisiana, right? 6 hours away, basically. And it's like, I call it the Catholic Hogwarts. Because you drive in, and like in the movie scene of Harry Potter, you remember like you see the big old castle, and they're on the lake and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing here. It's like you're driving in, there's the lake right there, and then you see this huge abbey, this huge church.
Okay.
And I'm just like, man, this place is beautiful.
Catholic Hogwarts.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, man, this place is amazing. Just seeing how beautiful the abbey was. I'm like, man, I could see myself coming here too. And so I spent that weekend like going through, listening to talks, getting tours of the seminary, and getting tours of the church itself, the abbey. And got close with some of the Houston guys there at that time. And so at the end of that, because I mean, there's probably like 6 of us that went that. I can't remember how many guys, but there's a couple of us from the group that actually went to do this. So on our way back, Father TJ's we were like debriefing our experience. And I was like, look, Father TJ, if I get accepted, I hope I come here.
Really? You didn't want to go to Dallas where your brother went?
Nah, because I remember, I barely remember, but I was like, seeing this place compared to from what I remember of Holy Trinity, I'd rather go over here. Because there was something like, it was much more peaceful, I would say.
Okay.
And I guess, it just drew me to it.
Is it like the one in Dallas where you're at a regular university, or is this really
No,
just...
everything's on campus right there.
Okay, so this is all Catholic. These are all seminarians.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't have to worry about outside influences or anything like that. It's all just secluded.
Yeah.
And you preferred that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like, that was the first time I ever encountered monks, right? This is a Benedictine monastery. And so, I mean, you hear about it all the time, like, that's a medieval thing. That's how I pictured it. Like, these are these medieval monks that just, I don't know, eat bread all day and drink water, maybe make beer, who knows. And, and then, like, I go and I see this place, and, like, they originally started that monastery, and part of their work was to teach.
Okay.
To train kids to be, like, train seminarians to be priests. And so, that was also kind of like, man, I think that's, I mean, because, like, the Benedictine spirituality is so beautiful, right? Ora et labora, like, praying and work. And so, like, man, that's the life of a priest, right? Like, everything that you do is an offering to the Lord, right? Like, you're bringing others to Christ. You're being Christ for others. And so, like, just having that mentality, like, everything that I do, Lord, I offer it up to you as my prayer, stuff like that. And
Did you ever think about becoming a monk?
For like 5 minutes. I was just like, I think it'd be cool, but no. I'd rather be back. I'd rather be back in Houston.
Okay.
And 2, it was just like, I think being out and about, actually like being with people, because I mean, being a monk, you're very secluded, right?
Yes.
It's just you and your community. Yeah, you have maybe some contact with the public, but it's mostly you and the other guys.
So you'd prefer the parish life?
Oh, yeah. Be with the families, marriage prep, kind of stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So at that visit, you were all in already.
yeah. Oh yeah. I was ready.